I'm Gene Triplett, entertainment editor for the Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. I had a few minutes to sit down this morning with Dennis Coyne, the front man for Stardeath and White Dwarfs, an Oklahoma City-based band that just signed with Warner Brothers Records. Dennis is, of course, the nephew of Lips leader Wayne Coyne, carrying on a family tradition of weird and fantastical psychedelic pop rock. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Has it sunk in yet that you're signed to a major label and your album is out there in stores and online worldwide?
I don't think it has. I think it's just now starting to being able to look at the record and see the record, and it's taken so long to get it out that I think it's been such a gradual thing that it really hasn't sunk in yet. It's just on the verge of sinking in, I think.
Did you guys do anything to celebrate when you inked the deal or when you released the album?
I mean, it was such a weird way that our deal came about. I mean, we were also road crew for the Flaming Lips most of the time that we've been playing together in our band.
Right.
And we did this show up in Stillwater, and some of the our A&R woman from Warner Brothers flew out there to see a couple of the bands that were playing, us included. And we had been doing, we'd been working for the Lips in New Orleans the night before. So we were literally in New Orleans the night before working, got home, played our show, and then I had to go fly to England with the Lips the next morning to go work some more. So it wasn't until, we were over in some dressing room in England somewhere, and Scott actually called that they were thinking about doing a deal with us. Yeah. And then from there, it just turned into this, we went in and we did some songs and gave them to them, and it just turned into this long process of getting this record deal. So by the time we inked it, it was like, so now that's done? Is that done now? And I think we went and had, lunch and celebrated like that. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, your dad is Wayne's brother, Kenny, who's the Flaming Lips archivist, and you grew up in the same neighborhood Wayne did, and you still live in the same Midtown neighborhood that he does.
Yeah.
And I would venture to guess that your uncle's been a pretty big influence on you musically and a lot of other ways in life.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think first and foremost, I think he's been an influence on me, just like any great uncle would be an influence on somebody growing up, just as a really great family member. But then musically, it would just be a complete lie to say he hasn't been a major influence on me musically, just because I've always been around his band. I mean, the other guys in his band too. I've been around those guys, since they were a band. I've been seeing them play since I was a little kid. So I think in both aspects of my life, he's been a pretty major influence on me.
Yeah. Was your boyhood as rough and tumble as the boyhood we saw your uncles and your dad going through in the Fearless Freaks?
I'd say yes, but you couldn't get away with much because there were cameras in in stores by that point, But yeah, I mean, the neighborhood that I grew up in over there was a bad neighborhood, and we didn't have any money, and I wouldn't say it was exactly the same, but pretty similar.
Yeah. When did you first start playing music?
I started to play keyboards and some guitar and stuff right there at the end of high school, 17 or 18. Yeah. Started to get interested in, being able to play. I always liked music and always loved listening to music, but I started really getting curious and interested about playing it myself and trying to write my own songs and stuff like that about that time, 17, 18.
So you were in several bands. You went to Northwest Class in high school. I guess you were in several garage bands before.
No, this is my first band.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When did you first put together Stardeath and White Dwarfs?
Excuse me. I guess it would have been 2004, 2005, something like that. I mean, it was another gradual process because I started to just want to write songs. So you just start to do that, and you get a little collection of songs. And then I met Casey, who is our bass player, and then that's when we really started to think about being in a band and recording our songs and stuff like that. And that would have been like 2005, probably. Yeah.
So when did you start to actually opening for your uncle's band?
We did that at, we opened for them at South by Southwest how many years ago? 4 years ago.
Okay.
So we had been a band for about a year,
Yeah.
and that was our biggest show to that point by far, and that was the first time we opened for them, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And you put out an EP in what was it, 2005 or
Yeah,
6?
right there about the same time. I mean, I think that we put out our EP before we really started playing shows. Yeah.
But that was an independent thing.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who's in the band now, and who plays what?
Well, I already mentioned Casey. He plays bass for us, and me and him kind of started the band. Mm-hmm. And then the next guy that we got in the band was Matt Duckworth, who plays drums. We met him. He started playing with us, and then we have a guy named James Young, who's playing guitar with us now.
Okay.
And we got him in our band about 2 years ago now.
Okay.
So,
What all do you play?
I sing and play keyboards. Some play guitar.
Yeah.
None of them very good, but I try.
Well, I'm assuming that you're the main songwriter in the group. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I write most of the lyrics and music and stuff. But Casey writes a lot of the music as well. Me and Casey work together a lot, bouncing stuff back and forth and writing songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then once me or Casey have an idea of a certain song, that's when we start to get together with everybody else and start to work it out. But I'd say predominantly me, and then Casey is pretty predominant as well.
Yeah. The songs on this album now, were these written over a long period of time?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were written over. I mean, since we finished that EP that we released ourselves, from then until just till we finished the record just 6 months ago, it was a collection of songs from that point.
Yeah. Now, the album was recorded in Norman with former Chainsaw Kittens Trent Bell co-producing with you guys.
Yeah.
Did he have any input or a lot of influence?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think he had a lot. One, because I've known him for a long time as well, so we were already friends. So he felt like he could tell us what certain things that maybe he wouldn't want to tell other bands, but he can kind of. If he thought a song was going in a bad way, he could push us one way or the other way. And I think he had a lot to do with it. I mean, I think he's great. I think he has a great ear for things like that, for sounds and textures. Yeah.
Yeah. How would you describe the music on the album? A little bit ago, I said weird, psychedelic, tuneful pop rock. Is that a fairly accurate
Yeah,
description?
I usually say, if you just think about like a psychedelic hillbilly from outer space, that's kind of what that encompasses.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Has your uncle offered you a lot of benefit of his experience, by coaching or giving advice?
Yeah, he's always ready to give an opinion, whether you want it or not. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Have you made any conscious effort to separate yourself from the Lips? Maybe get out of there?
I mean, we make, I think we make a conscious effort not to sound too much like them, just like you'd make a conscious effort not to sound too much like anybody. Mm-hmm. But with them being one of our major influences, we make the songs sound the way we want them to sound, and if they sound kind of like the Flaming Lips, then that's fine with me. I mean, I love the Flaming Lips, or if they sound like Black Sabbath, that's fine with me too. But we make a conscious effort not to sound too much like anybody, but we don't really worry about it too much.
Yeah. Are you going to be as showy as your uncle's band is on stage with the big space balls? And
I don't know that I don't know that I can do that. That space bubble just looks too dangerous to me.
Sure
I just don't think I could go out there in that.
You used to help him blow that thing up.
I did. Yeah, I was the bubble tech for years and years and years. Yeah.
Well, you got a better job now.
Some would argue, but
yeah. Well, I think you do. Anyway, this is a great album.
Thank you.
By the way,
Thank
and
you.
it doesn't. I mean, it's the same.
I think we are.
Genre and mode maybe as the Lips, but it doesn't sound like them at all. You're not trying to sound like anybody
Well,
but
good,
yourself. And
good.
So I really congratulate you on a great record. I'm glad it's finally out there. What's next for you guys?
I think we are kind of gearing up to do some summer touring. I think we're going to go out with the Lips and play some shows. I think we're going to go over to England and play some shows. So cool. Just kind of gearing up. Yeah.
Sounds like
yeah.
fun.
Looking forward to
All
it.
right. Well, I wish you all the luck, Dennis.
Well, thank you.
And thanks for dropping by.
Yeah,
I
thanks for
appreciate
having
it, man.
me. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, folks. That was Dennis Coyne with Stardeath and White Dwarfs. Be sure to pick up a copy of their new album. It's great. I recommend it.